What's up, vapors? Thanks for checking out Daily Vape TV. My name is Nick, and today we're going to be taking a look at the PB2S charger. So first things first, let me get this out of the way. Big shout out and thank you going to the people over at XTAR for allowing me to take a look at one of these devices for the purpose of making this video. So this thing is not just a 2-bay battery charger, it also doubles as a battery backup for your mobile devices as well. And you can charge two devices at once using a full-size USB and a USB-C. So with that, I think it's a really cool little pocket-size handy gadget to take traveling with you. So taking a quick look online, this device comes in two different color options. You've got a standard black version like I have here, and it also comes in a limited edition red. It's going to run you about $22, and if you guys want to check one of these out for yourself, I'll have a link to it on my website. Link to that is right down there in the description below, but without any further ado, let's dive down to the close-up view and take a better look at this thing. Alright guys, so here is the PB2S charger and the XTAR power supply brick. Let's first take a look at the charger. Here is the outside of the box, very professional packaging, and as you can see, it's got this window so you can see the device right through there. A bunch of different languages and very tiny printing. Same thing on this side here, and on this side we have the UPC, a little thing about the device, and on the back lots of warnings and specs and all that in a bunch of different languages. So nothing new there. We've got another UPC and a scratch and check. So let's go ahead and take a look inside the box. First things first, we have the charger itself. And we'll just get that out real quick. So here is the charger, and as you can see, very nice matte finish. We'll take a better look at that in just a second here. You also get a USB-C cable. So it's a C on one end and a standard USB on the other. This is going to be great for quick charging and everything like that using a PD style adapter, but it does not include it in the box. You have to buy that separately. So it also has this manual. Yes, it is fold out. And yes, I have actually read it, but you know what? Yeah, you kind of get the gist. It's just a basic charger. There's really nothing to it. All that's in here that's important is the charging rates with the different bricks. So that's pretty much it there. Let's just fold that right back up and forget it exists. Taking a look at this little power supply brick, really nothing much to it. It's a brick, and you get a adapter of some description. Who can tell me what country that's for? Leave it in the comments below. Then we have the standard US charger right there, and it just has a simple USB Type-C right there. Kind of a heavier brick, and I guess that's why they call it a brick, but you can see the information on the back here. This is just your little scanning codes for the social media, UPC, and a little authentication thing right there, and some more information about the voltages and stuff like that right there on the back. And that is pretty much that. All right, guys, let's talk about the specs. First of all, the input is QC3 and PD3, 5 volts at 2 amps, 9 volts at 2 amps, 12 volts at 1.5 amps. Constant current is 2 amps by 2, 2 amps by 1, and 1 amp by 2. And end of charge voltage is 4.2 plus or minus 0.05 volts. The USB output is QC3 and PD3, 5 volts at 2 amps, 9 volts at 2 amps, and 12 volts at 1.5 amp. Operating temperature is 0 to 40 degrees Celsius. Size is 125 millimeters by 58 millimeters by 28 millimeters, and it weighs 85 grams. All right, guys, so here is the PB2S in charger mode. It's plugged into the wall via a 5 volt at 1.5 amp charging brick, and the USB-C is connected there. So as you can see, the display shows 0, 0, and 5 volts. So let's go ahead and pop some batteries in here. These are some 21700s 30Ts to be more specific. And once we pop both batteries in, we can also then replace that like so. And you can see the numbers starting to jump around. The batteries themselves are at 28%. Right now it's charging at a rate of 0.5 amp at 5 volts. And this number will fluctuate. This does go up and down based on the power of the battery. So it starts off with a trickle charge, then goes into a full charge at a higher amperage, and then finishes with a very, very slow charge. It's kind of conditioning the batteries, sort of, but you have no control over this, unfortunately. With that, all you can do here is basically just press the button on the side, which cycles between each battery bay. So as you can see, this one in particular is charging at 3.6 volts at 0.3 amps. Choosing battery 2, it shows basically the same thing. Going back to the overall, that is the overall percentage of those batteries. So pretty simple stuff there. You do have sort of a pass-through charging option with this device as well. However, when you do that, it does not charge the batteries inside while it's charging whatever device it's connected to. So unfortunately, there's no way to passively charge the batteries as you're charging your phone. But with that being said, let's go ahead and take out the plug here. So now that we have this thing unplugged, it is officially in charger mode. So we have our USB cable from earlier that we're going to be plugging into the full-size USB slots and plugging it into my phone here. So this is a nice little charging system. I don't know if you guys will be able to see this, but it is actually charging my phone at a nice rate. Before, when I had it plugged into the wall directly, it was charging a lot quicker, but as you can see here, it's charging it at 1.3 amps, which is decent. It's not the quickest charge ever, but it's also not the slowest. This does eat up your battery quite a bit, so be prepared to only be able to charge your phone once or maybe twice at most before both of your 21700s go dead. But with that in mind, it makes for a decent emergency battery backup. I tried this using a USB connected to my iPad, and it charged at like 1 amp or so, and it didn't really make a dent on the batteries. I wouldn't recommend this for a tablet or anything basically bigger than a cell phone, but if you have a small camera or a phone that you could charge, then it'll work just fine. I've also got to point out that you can charge 2 devices at once using the full-size USB and this one right here. This is an input and output using a USB-C cable, so I just unfortunately don't usually carry my USB-C to USB-C cable with me wherever I go, but I might make an exception next time I travel for this guy right here. Overall, it has a really nice look to it. As you can see, the screen is relatively bright, and you can see it even with the overhead lights here. On the back, it does have a big brick of text, which I think is rather ugly and kind of out of place. They could have easily just tucked this away, but instead they put it right there on the back. Kind of a drawback for me. I kind of wish I could just scratch that off or something, but I guess I'll learn to live with it. Otherwise, you can leave the cover off if you want to keep an eye on your batteries or anything while they're charging. And as far as keeping this at home, yeah, you can leave it on your desk or something, and it's very easy to just grab your batteries and go. But I like having the cover on because it just looks really nice and sleek, very pocket friendly, portable. It's smaller than the palm of your hand, and it's really good travel accessories. Anyways, that's about all I've got for you guys in this close-up section. Let's go back to the main screen and we'll talk about it some more. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed the close-up section of the video. Now let's talk about my opinions about this device, the good, the bad, and the ugly. So let's start off with the good. I really love the form factor, size, shape, and everything in between with this device here. It looks very nice and modern and professional and very high-tech. It's got that soft rubberized grip feel to it, and it's just so sleek and pocket-friendly and portable and all that good stuff. It's definitely coming along on my next adventure wherever I decide to go, and with that, I feel like it's going to be great for the traveling vapor. Someone that needs to charge a couple of batteries at nighttime, and then during the day you might need a little extra boost for your phone, so you can give it some juice with the use of the PB2S charger. The second thing I really like about this thing is that you can charge 2 different devices at once with it, one with the full-size USB and the other with a USB-C. Every one of us has pockets full of electronic devices nowadays, whether it be cameras and cell phones and tablets and all this other stuff, and we need to charge them, so having the ability to charge 2 things at once is really great, albeit at the cost of some battery life. And the third and probably most important thing that I like about this device is the quick charge capabilities. Now, using a PD adapter for the wall plug, you can charge your batteries at a very high amperage, and with that, it doesn't take very long at all. Now, I charge my 21700s in this thing, and it literally only takes a couple of hours tops. Now, I will say that you should probably trickle charge your batteries whenever possible, but taking this thing on vacation with you or on a trip somewhere to an expo or something like that, you want your batteries to charge very quickly, and you don't have all day to wait around and let them charge. So I guess you can kind of get away with it temporarily if you're just going away for a couple of days, but in the long run, yes, trickle charging is obviously the best way to charge batteries. Moving on to the bad, I really wish there was a way you could select at which amperage you charge your batteries at, but in this case here, you're stuck with whatever the wall plug gives you. So right now I've got a 5 volt at 1.5 amp charging plug, and right now it's running about 1.3 amps, which means about 0.7 per battery. So there's no way to drop that down to half an amp or anything like that for each individual bay, and there's also no way to increase one over the others. I can't charge one battery at 1.5 amps and the other battery at half an amp or anything like that. You're just stuck with whatever your wall plug can handle. So in the case of a PD type charger, yeah, you can get a little bit higher charging rate with this one, but I'm really looking for the lower end to increase the lifetime of my batteries and to also make this sort of a at home and on the go unit, whereas right now it's pretty much good for travel, and that's about it from me. Moving right along, you can't charge any of these smaller battery types for this one here. You're stuck with 18650, 2700, and 21700. Yes, there are a few variations on those, but you can't charge 18350s or 2350s with this one here. It doesn't have the full spring-loaded sort of clamp thing. It just has a little tiny spring-loaded connection similar to what mods have at the very bottom. So unfortunately for all of you people out there looking to charge your 18350s, this is not going to be the charger for you. And last but not least, you really don't have any sort of control over this charger. It's all dependent on what type of brick that you have connected to the wall and what cables you use. So in this case here, you have one button on the device, and all it does is switch display modes from bay 1 and bay 2, and then it goes back to the main screen. So if you want to control your outputs or anything like that, you're not going to find it with this charger. So let's wrap this up with the ugly. Now, in general, I think this is a very good looking device, but I feel like they missed a trick on a couple of things here. Now, first being the frosted display. Now, I get it. It matches the matte aesthetic overall, which is nice, but it kind of blurs out the display lines a little bit and does make it a tad foggy. Now, the screen brightness does kind of overpower that, so you can easily see the numbers, but I just kind of wish they did a glossy screen on this thing just because it would crisp up those numbers on the display just that much more. A minor complaint here, but they put this big block of text on the back here where they could have easily hid it inside of the battery door. Now, I'm really not sure why they went with that choice for the back of this device, but I think it's really ugly and very obtrusive. Otherwise, it has a nice, sleek, modern look to it. Then you flip it over and you got a big block of text there, which I think looks really ugly, and they could have easily hidden it away. And last but not least, I think they should have went with a sliding door or a hinge door instead of a magnetic door, because I feel like if you're using this as a travel charger, which I feel like most will, and you leave it in a hotel room somewhere, let's say you're late for checkout and you just grab all your stuff and leave, you're going to have your batteries exposed all the time, which kind of defeats the purpose of having this sleek looking modern sort of battery backup slash charger, and you're going to end up with just a charger that you probably will just leave at home. Alright, so at the end of the day, is this device worth purchasing? Would I go out of my way to pick one of these up if I didn't get this one in for a review? Despite its faults, I'm going to be saying yes to this thing because, let's face it, it's going to make a damn good portable charger for two devices in one. You're going to save space, you're going to save some stuff packing, and it's just really nice and convenient. With that being said, I think as far as an at-home charger, there are many others out there in the price range that do a much better job than this, but for the portability and price point of $22, you really can't go wrong for this guy here. So if you guys want to take a look at one of these for yourself, I'll have a link on my website. Link to that is right down there in the description below. But that about does it for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe for more videos just like this. Leave your comments down in the box below and check out my website, dailyvape.tv. You can find all my merch on there, including this shirt right here, as well as many others. They're really cool. Make sure you guys give them a look. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and as always, vape on.